Head to Syria now, where militants and rebels are refusing to surrender despite an advance by government forces towards the northwestern Idlib province. Locals, meanwhile, have been leaving the area via Russia-sponsored humanitarian corridors.
The militants weren't good to us. They demanded 6 million liras. They took our 2 sons when we reached the checkpoint. They threatened us and we had to turn back. Now we're going home. We are from Abu al-Dahur.
The device helps to detect explosives and weapons. We press the button and scan the object. It has a special indicator. This car is 100% clean, but we've seen cars with weaponry before.
The majority of people come with skin and breathing problems. All children and their mothers have been checked over. They were given recommendations and medicine to start treatment.
I can speak now to Professor of International Relations, Dr. Bassam Abu Abdallah. Good evening to you, sir. How would you assess the role that Russia's playing here with these humanitarian corridors it's sponsoring across Syria?
Thank you very much for having me in your program. It's absolutely, I think, this is not first experience. If we will take the story of the Syrian crisis, we should remember that the same corridors was used by Russians, by help of Russians in the east part of Aleppo, if we remember 2016. After that, the same way we used in the east part of Ghouta, if we remember, and now I think in the south, now it's as a preparation for the Idlib battle, but without this kind of humanitarian aid, it's difficult to for the people to go back to their homes and villages, especially after the terrorist organization control of this area. So because of that, I think this campaign, it's not only concerning what we are seeing today, but either there are other efforts we can see and notice through the diplomatic efforts with Jordan, with Lebanon, and I think in the future with Turkey for the returning of the Syrian people and refugees. And this is very important because some regional and international actors wanted to use these people or these Syrian refugees as a political card in the future of Syria, which now is this model or this plan is cutting the way for them. The other factor which we should mention that some regional states benefits from Syrian refugees through taking a huge amount of money from international organizations, while now there is a shortage of this financial support for the Syrian refugees after 7 years of the war. The other factor which I should mention that the refugees inside or outside, it became as a factor of pressure on the local societies. We could see that in Lebanon, Jordan, and either in Turkey. So I think the Russian campaign, the Russian efforts generally, either it helps the regional states which now in a very difficult situation. So it's not only for Syria and for the stability in Syria, either I think the Lebanon responding very positively with these efforts, Jordan in their interest to do that. And inside Syria, it's a very important factor to return the people step by step, because if we are speaking about the political future of Syria, without stability, security, and combating terrorism, there is no future. So because of that, I assess that it's very, very important, and it's at the end of the day helping the Syrian people to return to work, to make economy, and to have stability after the 7 years of this fascist war against the Syrian people.
And if you could, we've got about 30 seconds left. I just want to ask you that during the Helsinki summit, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin agreed to have joint humanitarian efforts in Syria. Has there been any sign of an effort from the US as yet?
As we have heard, and either I have heard Minister Pompeo in the Congress during his meeting with the Congress, I think there are some understanding between Russia and the United States, and I think this is the results of the efforts of President Putin with President Trump in the Helsinki summit. At the end of the day, I think the American, they could see that the situation is changing dramatically, not in their interest in Syria, especially in the military efforts. The second, that President Trump is thinking in other way. He don't want to benefit from the situation in Syria. There is no money there, and at the same time, the instrument which the United States used during 7 years, I mean terrorist organization, is already collapsed in Syria by supporting the Russian army, the Russian government to the Syrian government. And I think there is...
Doctor, I do apologise. I'm afraid we're just running over now on our allotted time for this segment. We're going to have to wrap things up there. My apologies, Dr. Bassam Abu Abdullah, Professor of International Relations there. Thank you.